So hello everyone, Gainer here from Property Made Simple, and welcome to once again my videos. And I think today's video is something really very interesting. Why? Because I just want to share with you guys why did I make that switch, right? So this video is probably a little bit more intimate, more heartfelt from me, because I'll be sharing with you guys my journey from last time, and till now, and why I eventually made that switch, right? So just not to bore you guys, right? But I do understand that probably there are quite a lot of followers that have been with me, my past clients, when they first met me a few years back, probably, 5, 6, 7 years back ago, when I actually started this HDB upgrading strategist, right? So from then, I actually focused and really zoomed down to help HDB upgraders, to spot good investments, whereby they will go through a process whereby they will probably just sell their HDB and buy 2 properties or 1 property, and they are focusing a lot in more investment, more growth. And that's where, I slowly, jump into it, understand, analyze properties. And that's where my experience actually grew much better and better in terms of how I analyze properties, right? And that's where, I've been doing this all this while, right? And helping a lot of HDB upgraders with that. And during this process, right, during this journey whereby I help a lot of HDB upgraders, I saw quite a lot of, HDB owners, when their pays, their gross salary, which is not a lot, right, probably add up is just, 4 to 5,000 or probably even 8,000 or 10,000. And that's where I get a little bit more and more careful with what or probably who am I dealing with, because at the end of the day, from this journey, I realized that, helping my clients to really spot for good investments is something really, really very important. And I find it really very ethical, a very ethical thing to do, because, I've seen HDB upgraders who probably their combined salary is probably just $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, and these are actually their hard-earned savings, right? And asking them to go through the journey whereby they need to sell their HDBs and probably buy an investment which does not make sense to me is something I felt that it is not right to do, right? And that's where, I started to really focus into who am I helping with, right? Are they really need or are they really in need? Financially, are they sound, right? So all this over these years, as my brand name, HDB Upgrading Strategist, moved along, I began to gain a lot of experience, understand, why is it so important to help people that are really very necessary, or probably help people to really spot the right investments. And I will only look for investments that actually make sense. So, and this is something I always share with my clients, right? If it's a property investments that I don't buy, right, then I don't think you should buy as well. Even, at the end of the day, you probably feels that this is a good investment, then of course we can settle this and understand this a little bit further before you make that purchase. And that's where I started my business, right? But then my experience, I gained a lot of experience, and, in terms of being ethical, I don't know whether is it the right word, but in terms of what I view properties, investments, that's where, as it comes to a point, right? And this is where I want to stress, whereby it comes to a point whereby, I realize that the prices are really getting more and more expensive, right? And whether is it really true that the current available property investments are still good investments that we should look at. And then I really look at my business model, right? And that's where I felt that, it's not really very easy moving forward to just ask my client or, investors to buy things that, or to buy property investments whereby, it may not be very easy to see if that is a good investment. I mean, for those current properties or new launches, stuff like that. And that's where I started to review, right? That's where I started to review my business model, because moving forward, it seems a little bit more difficult. especially when, it's going to be more difficult to find the right investments. And that's where, this is the video, this is the main gist of the video, whereby I want to share with you my experience and my journey, why till now I decided to make that switch. And what switch, right? Because, as HDB upgraders, my market is also very limited. And if you really see my posts, right, there are people who actually called me to ask me whether I do upgrading of toilets, stuff like that. And that's where I realized that, it's very niche market. And, it's really not easy for me to find investments, property investments, good investments that I can recommend. And that's where I decided to switch my name from HDB Upgrading Strategist to Property Made Simple, whereby, I can still do the same thing, which is really represent my clients and value adding them in terms of giving solutions to problems. Because I believe that every property's, transaction, be it you are a seller, be it you are an investor, there is always a problem, right? And that's where I look into providing the right solutions. And you will probably realize that I make that switch in terms of moving more closer to helping sellers, property sellers right now, to see how I can help them to achieve a much better price. Because to me, it's still the same thing. Value adding my clients, right? Really standing by them and doing, the right things and helping them to achieve a better price if I'm representing a seller. So be it if today I'm representing someone who wants to buy a property investment, I will probably have to see whether is that a very good investment for them to buy, be it a new launch or be it a resale, stuff like that. Or if I'm representing a seller, I would probably look at the angle whereby, are they able to achieve a much better price? Because at the end of the day, it's still, doing my best to represent them and, going all the way out to help them to achieve a better price, right? And that's where, you probably will see a lot of my advertisements now these days in terms of property sellers, helping them, stuff like that. But, and I think this video is probably just to address, right, my audience, right, viewers, to let them understand that, I'm still doing the same thing, but it's just that I'm branching out more so that I can help, or probably help more wider audience, right? In terms of sellers, in terms of, providing solutions for every of the problems that, in terms of any property transactions that there will be, right? So yeah, so this video is probably just address this, why I actually did make that switch, because some of my clients actually asked me, hey Gainer, are you still doing investments? I am still doing investments. It's just that I realized that now these days it's really, really not easy to find the right investments because land bid prices are getting higher. And we really have to go for a few tiers of different types of analysis before we really decide which is a good investment. And I think that this market is a little bit strange for me because I just felt that it's not easy to find a right investments in today's terms, and that's why some of my clients, I actually ask them to buy resale, right? Stuff like that. So I hope this video is probably a good video for you guys to understand, why moving forward, I'm actually also helping property sellers, not only just investors, so that I can have wider range of audience, especially for you guys who are watching, right? At least I can address this problem or this issue. Some of my clients who ask me why I made that switch, right? And this is my honest truth review or feedback to you guys. And I hope you guys continue to watch this video or probably other of my videos. And if you do like what I'm presenting to you guys, just remember to hit the like, the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.